to Q&A with S&A. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Shane.
And today we are joined in the podcast studio by our amazing marketing and communications manager, Chelsea Scarlett.
Thank you for having me.
For being on the other side of the desk. Normally you're sitting over there playing with buttons and making sure everyone can hear everything. So, but today you're in the hot seat. So
Yes,
we're going to
I
ask
am.
you some really probing questions that Laura has put together for us. But Chelsea, for those of you who don't know, which you should all know because she's been with us for a long time, has been part of Aintree Group for nearly 10 years, which is crazy. You must have come to us when you were 13 and has played a key role in shaping and implementing marketing and social media over that time when we were in a tiny office in Kew.
Yep.
And the one thing that I remember that you will remember too from that tiny office in Kew is the photo of Joseph with the phone
Yes.
over the desk. We were in very close quarters in that time and things have gone from that small office to, quite a big space.
60 people and however many thousand square metres of office space.
And how many
thousand square metres? Yeah, it's about 6,000. Not quite.
Moving into some the PwC building next because we need 17 floors.
No, we're not doing that.
Chelsea, the office that we're in now, it has been, influenced by your design and everything as well. So there's no small effort. We're not just talking about, Chelsea puts out an email newsletter every so often. It's a big effort to be part of this team. And everyone who has come across something in this business would have seen something that you have had something to do with, including from the very beginning when we still did PDF newsletters, the original website, all of the website updates between. Did you ever imagine that you'd be working in an accounting firm?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I think if I was to rank my where I thought I would be, anything to do with maths would have been so far down the list. But I guess that's the thing. I get to be part of the world without actually having to do any of the accounting. But it has expanded my knowledge of what accounting is.
Oh,
It isn't just maths. There's a lot of other things
yeah.
at play. So I think I've learnt that lesson. But no, I didn't think I'd be in an accounting firm at all.
So if you want to get tax advice, then Chelsea is probably one of the best in the
Chelsea's
firm.
the one writing all
If you want to know
of the
about
tax
Division
stuff.
7A or Division 296 or anything like that, then Chelsea probably has a good understanding of it based on...
I do have, like a very deep understanding of very specific areas of tax law that, but I probably shouldn't be giving actual advice.
I think we'll go back to how it all worked and the conversations where you came to us and said, can I come and get some work? You came through our school connection, which is, that's not unusual for here.
It's not. I think we should start get paid out commission by Ivanhoe Grammar School for how many people that we, employ.
Yeah. There's quite a few and still ongoing. That is not a situation that has stopped, even though you're not at school anymore and our kids are not at school. But the connection was, and I will not forget this time, and I don't know whether you remember it either, but our daughter Emily was in a musical when she was quite young in the senior school. You'd already finished, I think, by that stage and were at uni, but we were standing next to each other as the students in the cast were doing the war cry, and we sort of looked at each other and went, oh, who are you? And then we found out who each other were, and that sort of connection stayed because of your connection with Jeffrey, obviously, and then you came and worked for us, and now you're way more important in our lives than Jeffrey. Say that. I love you, Jeffrey, but Chelsea's part of the family now, really. 10 years is a long time to be somewhere. And your role touches everything that we do here. There's not a single thing that goes out to a client really that hasn't had some form of Chelseaification. But tell the listeners a little bit about what it is that you actually do now. We know what you've done past, but what does the role look like now?
I mean, it depends on the day.
Yeah, true.
But overall, I would say that my role now as the manager of the department is to take some things off your plate, because while you are across all things marketing and communications, as the CEO, you have more important things to do. So I oversee all of the campaigns, all of the projects that we have across all of the business units at Aintree Group. So I'm making sure that all of the different business units and what they're trying to communicate to clients is cohesive across the board, but also that they each get their own time to shine. So day to day, that looks like maintaining the websites, drafting and sending out all the newsletters, overseeing all the social media content, obviously with the help of my team, the podcasts for a big part of the last couple of years in particular as we've grown that, putting on client events, putting on team events, random bits and pieces like you alluded to, like interior design of the office.
Chelsea, can you please find some new glasses?
Yeah, but it's really varied. But anything marketing communications related, like you said, gets Chelseafied.
Chelseafied, yeah. When you started with us, you were part-time marketing person.
Yeah.
You were just starting out in your career, and now you have people in your team. Again, you know, when you were starting out, when you finished high school and said, I'm going to go and do this degree, what was it in your mind that you thought to yourself, this is maybe what I want to do? Because it wasn't accounting. We know that part of it. But why? What drew you to that?
I think what drew me to that was I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think so during high school, my strength was definitely writing, English, art and things like that. And people's default recommendation for someone with those skills was journalism.
Yeah.
But I wasn't 100% sold that was kind of going to be the industry that I wanted to work in. So I picked a professional communication degree because it did have that journalism element, but there was a bit of advertising, a bit of PR, a bit of marketing, and I could also do literature as a contextual studies major. So I could still delve into that sort of English literature side of things. And funnily enough, my predictions about journalism were correct because I vividly remember my first ever journalism lecture at uni. We walked in and the lecturer said, here are all the laws and legislations and rules around journalism in Australia. If you don't follow these rules, you could go to jail and be fined. But if you do follow these rules, you probably won't work because your stories will be too boring and no one will want to hire you. And I sat in that room and said, yeah, this is not for me. So while I still, obviously, it was still part of my degree, I definitely found the marketing PR side to be a lot more interesting. It was a transitional period in that degree because I think at the time, it was nearly 10 years ago now, they were trying to catch up to the fact that social media was becoming a much bigger part of marketing. So I feel like there was only a couple of things sprinkled in towards the end on that. But I think with anything, the best way to learn what you do and don't want to do is actually to do it. So coming out of uni, I did an internship at a PR firm that managed music, which was really, really interesting, but it definitely was a lot more full on and more on the music management side of things. I also worked for a traders association similar to the one what we have here in Camberwell and did just social media for them. And I think that was a huge learning opportunity of how to translate people's expectations of what social media marketing is versus what it should be, and really having to manage the expectations of people sitting in a room being like, so can we go viral? And that's their entire marketing strategy. And then in amongst all that, I started part-time at Aintree Group. I started doing some events, got the social media up and running for that. And so I've sort of just I've been very lucky actually that because I originated my role at Aintree Group and have built it up from that part-time coordinator role now to managing a team, I've been able to shape my career in a really unique way because as I've brought new skills to my skill set and expanded software knowledge and accounting knowledge and legal knowledge, I've been able to just keep growing it, and now it's basically a three people's worth of work.
Yeah. It's interesting because the marketing landscape has changed so much even in that 10 years and certainly in the 20 years since we started, because when we first started we had a logo and a business card and a letterhead, and they were the most important things. So that was the only thing that you needed
with compliment
to have.
slip as well.
With compliment slip.
Gosh,
Can't
forget that one.
slip. Yeah.
And we were still handwriting with compliment slips, and we were still sending out everything in hard copy to clients and whatever. So nothing was electronic and whatever. And we did have a website, but it was really, basic. There was nothing, you couldn't, we certainly couldn't do our own website. Like we had to go get someone to do it. Now we've got
we've got six websites now.
Okay. We've got 6 and we manage them internally. Well, and I say we, I mean Chelsea and her team. We don't. We just tell what needs to happen. But there was no social media. I think maybe there was Facebook. We were at Facebook. And then we started to talk about, how can we use social media? And we sort of sat there and went, accountants are like, what do you do with social media and accountants? So you've had the opportunity to build the social media for accountants and go through all of the machinations of that. How does it work? Because still, even today, most people think, accountants shouldn't be doing social media. Or professional services don't need to do that. What do people need to know about that sort of stuff for?
It sort of just comes back to marketing 101, which is you need to be where your clients are and when your audience is, and where the audience is on social media.
Yeah.
Basically everyone is on some form of social media and the demographic varies wildly. Obviously if you're trying to talk to younger people, then Instagram and TikTok is the way to go. Facebook tends to lean a little bit more to the older demographic, but no matter which platform it is, you have people on there that consume a huge amount of their news and get advice through those platforms. And even to the point now that the generations coming up are using social media as a search platform. So instead of Googling something, they're looking for that advice on social media. So if you're not there, they can't find you. And that's not to say that a website and SEO is not still important, because it is, but it is just an extension of that. And it's instead of looking at it as, that's silly and why would you be on social media, I think it's just boiling it down to marketing 101, the basics. That's where the audience is, so that's where you need to be.
So there's so much social media though.
Yes.
So many platforms. How do you work out the target of social media and which ones to focus on, or is it just focusing on all of them?
I think there's a bit of nuance to it. It depends obviously on the business. In our case, so Facebook's really, really good for I would say the predominantly our existing clients, they are all on Facebook. Facebook also comes with the added feature of there's a lot of groups on Facebook, particularly around professional services and business groups. So that's a really important place to be. LinkedIn obviously is a no-brainer because it's a professional social media platform. So we're definitely on that. Instagram and TikTok is definitely trying to connect with that younger generation and making sure that, all the clients we have now, unfortunately, will not be our clients forever, and we will need younger people coming through who are seeking that advice, and they're looking for that advice on Instagram and on TikTok. So TikTok is our most recent one, and I'm very fortunate that I have some great Gen Z team members who help me out with that, so that we do stay relevant to those younger people, because I know no matter which platform you're on, there's nothing more off-putting to an audience than someone who obviously is trying to be cool and is perhaps not. So that's where it's really important to have those voices. But we've recently focused more or condensed our focus more. So we used to be on X or Twitter, and we made the decision at the end of last year that was no longer a place that we needed to be. It used to be, and that's where, the landscape changes so quickly. Like Twitter, it used to be a no-brainer in a similar way to LinkedIn, that was where people got their news. People used it as a way to stay up to date on legislation changes and things like that. Obviously, the landscape there has changed significantly in the last 7 years, and so we made the call that it's probably not aligned with our values, and people are using it for a different reason. We just adapt
Yeah.
as needed.
Yeah. We do some silly things on our social media as well. It's about building community and about making sure that people understand that regardless of the really serious stuff that we deal with for them on a daily basis, that we're still people sitting at our desks. But there is a very common conception, and it's valid, that it's really hard to get people to feel comfortable in social media sort of settings. So we do have to drag people
Sometimes
streaming sometimes, right?
Drag, we'll go with bribe. I know that
there is some bribery.
Yeah, there is some bribery involved sometimes. Obviously, we're not forcing anyone on pain of death or termination to be part of content.
Yeah.
I think that's really important to note. But yeah, it does take some encouragement. I think just trying to get people to understand the importance of showing the people and the faces behind our business, that individual, like having someone's face in content will always make the content do better. Anything that is related to personal stories, personal connection, even if it on face value seems really silly, just seeing a person's face or a group of people pop up on whatever news feed it is, the content is automatically going to do better than us being like, did you know that this particular legislation has been updated? And while the legislation is important to try and keep people engaged in the content, we've got to sprinkle it in with some more interesting and exciting things. And it's really just conveying to the team that if it's the same two faces on social media all the time, people are just going to tune it out. So the more people we can get in, the more different personalities we can get in, it really drives home that branding and the personalities and the fact that the people that our clients are turning to for advice are also people. And they have similar lived experiences and similar pain points, and we do relate to them on a level other than just financial data.
Yeah. And the social media element of it, because a lot of businesses will sit there and say, oh, we don't need to be on social media. It's not where our target market is. But there's so many elements to it. Like you said, like people are getting advice on purchasing all sorts of products or all sorts of services off social media these days. It's not, it's almost like it's advertising, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is. It's simply that. It's also free. Like I think people that have a bit of you don't have to do paid ads, you can, and it will boost your reach. But in terms of building genuine organic growth in an audience, social media is a free platform. It's very easy to use, and anyone who's sort of saying, oh, my audience isn't on social media, I would struggle to think of a demographic that is not on any social media of any description.
Yeah.
The other thing with that though is the audience, it's not just clients.
No.
So it's also if we're recruiting. So do you want to touch on that? And
it is really, really important. I know we've had first-hand conversations with people who have joined our team and said part of the reason that I applied for the job is I went on your social media and I saw you guys doing things like Eat Up sandwich making workshops and going out and volunteering and having Friday night drinks, and that was a hugely attractive proposition for them, because it's not just, it's all very well for us to, on a website say we are a great company to work for, but to actually show that in the form of here are all the cool things we do as a team, here is, a reel of us playing lawn bowls together. It really, it's showing instead of telling people what it's like to work at Aintree Group.
So it's not just a marketing tool for your services. It's a marketing tool for your entire business and who you are and how people relate to you as well going forward. So, there's definitely, clients of ours out there who have said to us across the years as well, like, what are you doing on, why do you spend time on doing this TikTok video? And it's actually because the team gets a bit of a buzz out of it
they
too.
Do.
Like
they do.
There have been times when the team have, we've gone viral with one of our things. Thank you, Laura. And the team got a buzz out of knowing that had happened. Like, why? Why are people watching us? Well, because we're having a bit of fun. And that's important too.
It is.
What's been your biggest career achievement so far, Chelsea?
That's a big question.
Oh, I know. I didn't write the questions.
I think the moment that I got our first genuine lead through SEO that I'd made is pretty special. But I think more broadly, I think the fact that I did originate the marketing coordinator role, it was a part-time position. And then I not only grew that to be full-time, it also then grew beyond that to need other part-time people underneath me to help bring this vision to life, and sort of just the adapting along the way as we've added in all the other business units, grown the team from 13 to 60, like at each stage of growth. I think my proudest achievement is just adapting what our team and what my role looks like at each changing stage, because we often joke there's never a dull moment at Aintree Group, but it just means that, it keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the ability to be able to flexibly adapt to what Shane and I throw at you is probably one of the things that is, a really big achievement, because some people cannot easily do that without it, throwing a spanner in the works all the time. And I know we have thrown spanners in the works. I'm not, the everyone who knows the way Aintree Group's trajectory has been and the different things that we've put on. It's like walk into Chelsea's office, say, oh, by the way, we need a website for this and it needs to be done by Friday at 5. Is that okay? And that's pretty normal. I mean, that's probably normal across most marketing departments as well. Like you have to be the sort of person that can, flexibly respond to those sorts of things. We've had situations where we've had to crisis manage, not necessarily for us, but, during COVID, for instance, we had to
that was huge.
Completely pivot all of our social marketing to what clients needed from us and how we could support them. And those sorts of things don't happen when you've got a rigid team that says, oh, no, we've got a schedule and we've got to keep to it. So, I think that's really important. But you have been a key driver to those things and actually an enabler of those things as well, because without someone like you in a role like that, you cannot do the things that you need to do with respect to that. You can't start communicating with clients via, email, social media and whatever, unless you've got someone who I can just, send you a Teams message and say, by the way, this happened, and you've got a message out straight away. So
the other thing with that though is that that's for all our internal marketing, but you're also being involved in client matters as well.
Yeah.
So that's the other part. So did you want to expand on that too?
Well, now and again, I've been sort of redistributed to be almost like an external marketing consultant for certain clients. So I've helped from everything from putting together like an information memorandum for clients who are selling their business and making sure that that's presented in a really strong way. I've done courses where I've gone to clients' places of work and shown them how to use tools like Canva. I've done Plant Grow Reap, Plant Grow Reap, the original Plant Grow Reap, which was a business workshop. I've done presentations to our clients on the different types of marketing tools they can be using and should be using in their small business. I've gone out and, spent the day at client places of work and helped them in terms of social media and taking photos, helped them with podcasting questions and social media questions. And so it has varied wildly, but I've definitely been happy to be able to throw my skills and support through to the clients as well, because they don't necessarily have marketing teams of their own.
Yeah, and then another part of that is training for the internal team as well. So again, with presentation, was it this week?
On Monday.
Yeah,
just sharing with the team the importance of their personal brand and how to really strengthen that, particularly on LinkedIn, which I think is really, really important just across the board.
Yeah, so it's a very broad role. It's not just communications for
externally.
Aintree Group. It's these other elements that you're working on as well.
Yeah, it definitely is broad. And I think in terms of what traditional marketing manager, there's even the website design thing. On the one hand, it keeps us really flexible, and the example you gave about, we need a website by Friday, that was, I'm pretty sure, the finance business unit. I had a week to put together all the branding, the website and everything like that. And being able to do that and manage that internally means we can be really quick and adaptable. Yeah. Whereas normally you'd have to go through like a website developer and they have other clients. So I think that, that's something that I'm proud of, that I can meet that expectation. And over the years, that's been a skill that I've really developed because, you know, I didn't do any formal training on website design or anything. It's just been stuff I've learned along the way. I think my very basic HTML code skills from the MySpace days have come in handy there.
MySpace.
Like, who would have thought that my coding for MySpace would actually come in handy? Because it's HTML code. It's the same.
Exactly. It doesn't matter where it's come from.
And with all of this, the word marketing.
Yes.
And the title, your title has got marketing in it.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Marketing?
I guess so. Like,
I don't know. I'm just curious about. And does it have
we're doing a business strategy workshop.
No, but I'm curious. Does it have a good? Is it a good name? Is it a good word, or is it a?
I think so. I think because we've thrown the communications in there as well, that can kind of between the two, you can kind of cover all sins. Because marketing is just being able to position ourselves as the experts that we are and communicate with clients. I think having both words covers all sins. I couldn't really think of another word off the top of my head that would cover it.
But now Chelsea's going to, so she'll come in on Monday.
Yeah, I'll have a new business title.
I just thought we can change the business.
As long as it's not too long. I think some business titles.
I know.
Well, it used to be marketing, events, and communication.
Yeah.
And we cut out the events because we figured that could be covered by the rest.
And no vice president or
well,
I think that's a more
it's
American
a bit of an Americanized way of doing it, but
But I think marketing. The only other word it could be is branding, but I think even that it's broader than just branding. I think the fact that there's web design and everything in there adds a little bit more to it.
It's like a jack of all trades person that we go to and say, Chelsea, can you work out how to do this? And Chelsea says, yeah, I can work it out.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because I'm not big on titles generally, but it's just sometimes there can be a stigma or
there can be, but
a generalisation with it because marketing might be just seen as pushing product or something like that.
Which that's where my thought on that is the onus is on people that's not actually that's sales, that's not marketing. If people sort of take that to be what it is, that's fine. It's something that I expand on. Obviously, when I go to industry events, I do normally get a bit of a weird look when I introduce myself. I feel like even last week we were in Sydney at an accounting and business expo, and the question everyone asks, they don't say, what do you do? They just go accountant or bookkeeper. And when I counter with marketing manager, they go, huh? But I think, you just explain a little bit more about what you do and the importance of it. And also I think the industry in general has come a bit of a longer way. I think the weird looks I get now are much less shocked and more just, how does that work? There's more curiosity and less just dumbfounded.
Yeah, like what on earth would the accounting firm need a marketing person for? Like it's still, but there still is that element of question around.
There is.
Why would you do marketing as a professional services firm? And there's so many. We could do an entire podcast episode
we could.
and why
and
you
have.
do that, and probably will continue to as well. What I want to ask as part of the last question that we ask here, because it's not just about business, because Chelsea is a firm fixture in our business and does lots of things outside of that. And a lot of people may or may not know this, but Chelsea's a Bollywood dancer.
Yes.
She wears all the kit, which is beautiful. We got a chance to do that with you a little while ago.
That was a lot of fun. I appreciated the audience participation.
So much fun. It was so much fun. But tell us about that and how you got into it as well, because these things are really interesting.
Yeah, I found myself in it basically completely by accident. So
almost like accounting.
And to be honest, marketing. But so the shortest possible version of this, I did Scouts as a child. That was like a huge part of my whole younger childhood and teenagehood. Part of Scouts, I did Gang Show, which is their annual performing arts show that they do every year. It's completely originally written. It's all done by people within the scouting community. It's actually incredible what they pull off every year. So I did that for many years, and because it is original, all the shows are original. One year there was sort of like an around the world Marco Polo, I think, storyline, and one of the numbers was a Bollywood number, and we actually had a professional Bollywood group come in, teach us the song and the choreography, so it was coming from an authentic place. It was so much fun, just like the energy, the music. It was by far the most favourite number in that whole show, like from an audience perspective and from the people in the cast as well. Then after high school, me and a friend who did that show together just happened to come across Bollywood dance classes on Gumtree. And, you know, we just finished school. So all of our, you know, sporting commitments that we'd had through school had sort of fallen away. We were looking for something sort of fitness related to do. This came up. It was a lot of fun. We did classes, really connected with the team there. And after, I reckon, about 3 or 4 months, the managing director, Hithanjani, came up to us and said, "You guys are doing a really great job with this. Would you like to perform with us at an upcoming concert?" Which was incredible. And then it just snowballed from there. Yeah. So I did more and more performances. I started doing my own choreography. I started teaching. And 11 or 12 years later, it's just a huge part of my life. It was like a defining part of my 20s for sure. And it's just, an absolutely beautiful, celebratory, energetic expression of so many different cultures all rolled into one. And it's amazing.
It is pretty amazing. For those of you who haven't seen Chelsea perform, we will put a link to the Bollywood group that you're part of. I know you haven't done any performances recently, but they do have on their social media, which no doubt you've had something to do with over the years.
Maybe a little bit.
They have
on their social media and website.
And it's actually awesome. And the whole team, again, it's about personalising things and making sure that people know that we're people before we're anything else. The whole team loved doing that. It was a little confronting for some people who were, you know,
the coordination required.
And
just
the
phenomenal.
stamina as well.
It's like, very energetic.
We were, you know, there was some sweat flying around in that room.
I couldn't keep up with the different moves.
Yeah.
Had to go from here to here. Anyway.
Hith always says when she's running a workshop that Bollywood is very much like that exercise where you have to tap the top of your head and like rub your tummy at the same time. It is absolutely that. But it's just because there's so many, it's a fusion of all the different South Asian dances and beyond, that, you end up with all those little intricacies. And there's also just such a variance between the different types of dance styles that you can do under sort of the wider Bollywood umbrella. And also for someone like me who I didn't do dance as a child, I was a sport child. I was not a dance child. So to be able to come into it as an adult and be able to pick it up, like just, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. No, I love watching the videos. I love even watching them without you in them, Chelsea, because the group, like we've had a connection with the group as well as part of your connection with them, and what they do is beautiful, and the fact that they give opportunities to people, like you said, who may not have dance backgrounds, who just want to be part of a beautiful performance and community. It's really, really nice thing to watch. So we will share the Instagram and stuff of the Bindaas group so that everyone can watch it. The listeners, you hear from Chelsea a lot, and we're going to hear from Chelsea again, no doubt, in all sorts of other circumstances. We can do podcast after podcast after podcast with Chelsea about all the different things that she does. And next time you come into the office for an event, please make sure that you introduce yourself to Chelsea if you haven't already, because we love it when you give us feedback about how our communications impacts you on your everyday. But thank you for joining us today, Chelsea. I know you're not used to being the one who is the question receiver, but it's been really lovely to have you in the podcast studio today. Thank you for joining us.
That's all right. Thank you for having me.
Listeners, thank you for tuning in to Q&A with S&A. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.